Hi everyone, I'm Jodi. Welcome to my channel. I'm really glad that you're here today. And if you have stopped by because it's Friday Face Off, you're gonna be thrilled with today's video because typically on a Friday Face Off, we take a look at two highly beloved, top-rated, often used beauty products, and we put them on a side-by-side comparison. Well, today I just couldn't decide between which two of these eyeliners I wanted to test up against each other because there's some very good ones on the market, and quite frankly, price points range from anywhere to $9 all the way up to $34. We've got a Chanel one in here that we're going to take a look at. So when I looked at all the reviews and what marketing says about each one of these, I couldn't narrow it down to just two because quite honestly, if you read about many of these eyeliners, they almost read exactly the same. Long wear, 24-hour wear, waterproof gel. That is the category that we're looking at. Now, why gel versus liquid eyeliner or even pencil? Well, let's briefly talk about the difference between the three to help clarify so that you know which eyeliner formula might be best for you. A pencil formula usually provides a less intense color payoff. So if you want a very light color, then a pencil might be the best choice for you. On the other end of that spectrum, a liquid eyeliner with a felt tip, those are very highly pigmented. They're, however, a little more difficult to work with, and you have a much smaller room for air. And as we age and our eye area is a little more difficult for us to see, a liquid liner might be more of a challenge than the payoff that you get. In fact, I find when I use a liquid eyeliner, I end up spending way more time cleaning up the mess that I made than I would like to. So for me, a gel liner sits right in between a pencil and a liquid. It's still highly intense color, good pigment, soft enough formula to work with, but hard enough to stay throughout the duration of your day and even longer wear if you prefer, depending on how you set it, what you have it over, and how you wear throughout the day. So today we're gonna review not just two gel eyeliners, but we're gonna test 9 of them. Now, I couldn't really do a Friday Face Off with 9 different eyeliners because I really wanted to see how these compare side by side. Now, with only 2 eyes, I could only really test 2 at a time, and then you couldn't see how they all compared in a lineup. And that was really the answer I was going for. Certainly I could have done a bracket where you start with all 9 and these 2 won, so they go to the next bracket. You know how that goes. But that is a lot of filming, a lot of editing, and at the end of the day, we're gonna get the same result with this process. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to lay all 9 of them on my arm, and I'm gonna apply a little bit of coconut oil to simulate an oily eyelid because many of us have oily eyelids. And last, we're gonna see how long they wear and if they're truly waterproof. So if you are ready, let's just dive right in and see what gel eyeliner is the best option for our hard-earned money. I threw in my 2 favorite gel eyeliners, so I'm really curious to see how they perform up against the rest of these in the field. So if you are as curious as I am, let's just jump right in and get this thing started. All right, to simulate a little bit of an oily eyelid, I'm gonna grab some coconut oil, not a lot because we don't add a bunch of oil onto our eyelids, but I'm just gonna use just about this amount. I'm gonna spread it evenly on my arm. This is really just to simulate some oil on the skin to see how these perform and how clean they slide, because that in there, I think, lies part of the challenge with a good eyeliner is on a lid that is either oily or has some primer on it. How does it perform? How does it glide? How does it move? So do you find yourself having to recreate the line? Do you find yourself having to go really slow? Do you have to take a Q-tip with some concealer and go back and clean things up often? How do these liners glide on a more oily surface? As we age, that becomes an important part of how these eyeliners perform, is how easy or not they are to apply. I wish this was live and you guys could help me decide. Do we go in alphabetical order? Do we go least expensive to most expensive? Let's do that. Let's do least expensive to most expensive, and that way we can kind of just see how they perform in terms of their price. All right, so first up we are going with the NYX Epic Wear Liner Stick. This is in color Burnt Sienna. For 0.043 ounces, this is $9. Now the back of this does come off, but it's not a sharpener at the end. It's not refillable either, so I'm not quite sure why that comes off like that, but it does. really serves no purpose. What I like about applying it this way, you guys, is we're gonna be able to apply the same amount of pressure on the same skin type so we can really see how these perform. And when we go to do our eyeliner on our eyes, we will either go with little tiny strokes, or some people like to do one stroke and then go back and fill stuff in. So I am going to do a little bit of that. I'm just gonna go a little bit across and then one line back so that we have two lines with some consistency so that we can see the intensity of the color with just two passes. That's a really pretty color, very easy to apply. I didn't feel like it was so soft that I was moving the top or the tip around. It didn't break, which is a huge bonus for me. Next, we're gonna use the Revlon Color Stay. This is 24 hour. It's also a waterproof gel liner. For 0.01 ounces, it comes in at $9.69. This one offers a rubber tip on this side for blending and smudging, and then on this side is that gel liner. And this one is in color black brown. Highly pigmented. It's a really pretty dark black brown, just like it says color. So I'm really pleased with that one. We'll see how it holds up. Now we are really jumping up there in price with number 3, and this is by Benefit. This is their Bad Girl Bang 24-hour eye pencil. This is 0.009 ounces for $22. I have it in deep brown. This one offers a rubber tip for smudging similar to the Revlon. And then on this end, you have your gel liner. And I'm not sure why I purchased this one. I don't think I've really used it that much. Okay, I'm having to press a little bit harder on that one. That one went on a little bit more like a pencil. It was a little harder to move, but it did finally give me some color payout, and you know, we'll see. It's nice so far. We'll see how it lasts. Number 4 is one of my favorites that I had to put in to see how it performs. This is House Labs by Lady Gaga's Optic Intensity Echo Eyeliner, and I have it in, I think this is deep brown, deep cocoa matte. And for 0.04 ounces, this is also $22. It has this little tiny brush on the end, which I find easier to use than that rubber if I'm wanting to smudge out my under eye area or even above to have a little bit more of a smoky eye. This has been really easy to work with. And then on this end, it's a nice gel type formula, and I hope this performs well. Really pretty color. It's a soft formula, but not so soft that you break it off all the time. This is just one of my favorites. So like I said, I'm curious to see how it performs. And for the third eyeliner that is at the $22 price range, this is Tarte's Sex Kitten, and it is 0.007 ounces for $22. And this one has the rubber tip on one end, similar to Revlon and Benefit. And then on this end is your twist top gel liner. So let me put that back on this end so that I don't end up with stuff all over. And I think this one is in black also. I had a couple in black. Very similar to the intensity of the color as that Revlon brown black. So I really like this one as well. It already looks like it's smudging, but I'm gonna remain neutral till we see. Now this next eyeliner, I did not want to put in this lineup, but it is an eyeliner that many people use because it does work. I particularly don't like this brand because I don't like the names that they give many of their lip liners and other products. I think they're way too sexualized for younger girls that they're targeting. That's just my personal issue. I know many of you love this eyeliner, and I used to be a big fan of it, and that is Urban Decay's 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. This one is in Whiskey. This sells for $24 for 0.04 ounces. It does not come off on this end, and this is an actual sharpen gel, so you do need a pencil sharpener for this one. One does not come with it, and very similar to the other ones, this is a really pretty color. One of the things that you'll notice is when you have a gel eyeliner that requires a pencil sharpener, like an old school pencil sharpener, it's hard to get that tip quite as fine as you would like it to make smaller lines similar to these up here. You can still get a fine line. You just have to really use the edge of your eyeliner pencil. If you prefer a very small line, then you may want to ensure that your eyeliner is more of those twists that come from the bottom, or the Smashbox Always Sharp that you can constantly be sharpening it. Otherwise, you are able to achieve a nice eyeliner look. It may just not be such a small thin line if it's one that requires a pencil sharpener. So something to keep in mind depending on how you like to apply your eyeliner. Speaking of the Smashbox Always Sharp, this is my second favorite, also a waterproof, also a gel, very similar to the rest of these. This one's a little bit higher in price point for 0.01 ounce. This is $27, but what I do like about it is inside the lid is a pencil sharpener, so every time you twist it, it is sharpening it at the tip. This end doesn't come out. The sharpener is actually in the lid, so it's one less thing you have to be worrying about. You don't have to think about carrying a sharpener, and for some reason, I love that about this one. This is in color Violetta, and it's not brown, it's more black, but not an intense dark black. It's more of a light black, if there is such a thing. That's what I would say that one is, and maybe that's why I love that one. It gives me the intensity of a black liner, but it doesn't make my face look harsh like a black eyeliner, and maybe that's why that's one of my favorites. Number 8 is Bobbi Brown's Perfectly Defined Gel Eyeliner for 0.12 ounces. This is $32. I have it in color Chocolate Truffle. This end of the product does offer a sharpener. It is a twist, and you can get that nice sharp edge with just a quick flick of the wrist. All right, this one is also a really nice one. So you can see that pretty color in Chocolate Truffle. Well, there's 8. Let's finish this off with Chanel. Number 9 at $34 for 0.01 ounce. This is the Stylo Waterproof Eyeliner. Packaging looks very similar to many of the other pencils that we have just reviewed. And like the Bobbi Brown, this does offer a sharpener at this end of the product. This end is a twist up where, again, you can just get that nice sharp edge. And I do like it when an eyeliner offers a way to keep the product sharp. I guess my question is, will this perform at $34 with the sharpener better than the $9 ones that don't offer a sharpener? Am I willing to pay $25 for the convenience of having this sharpener on the product? I might, if this performs that much better. This is in Nior Intense. It only came in this one color, and I don't want to taint the overall review or your opinion. I will say that the reason I don't reach for this one that often is very similar to the Dior that I just reviewed a couple days ago. The formula is pretty soft, so you just have to be real careful with this one and go slow. It went on very smoothly with the oil underneath, so we'll see how it wears, but the formula is pretty soft. So I kind of worry about how much of this breaks off and you lose the product versus some of these that are at a different price point. Now, you might have seen Marlena Stahl's video, and I'll link it down below. As the founder of Makeup Geek, she's had the opportunity to look at several facilities where many of these products are made, and she had shared that when it comes to eyeliner pencils, brow pencils, and lip liner pencils, the manufacturing is often done in the very same place. The labels and the formulas change slightly. I don't have that firsthand knowledge. She does, and that's what she had shared. So knowing that, you really have to question, why are these such different prices? Is it because of the packaging, the box that you just get that you end up throwing away? Is that worth something to you versus going to the drugstore and getting some of these, like the Revlon one that's usually in a cardboard in the back and that plastic in the front that you just tear off? Those are decisions that you'll need to make. But the easiest way to filter those out is let's see how they perform first, and then we can get real nitpicky about the packaging. So now that these are all on, let's see if they are really smudge proof, and then we're gonna see if they are waterproof. I am going to try to smudge each one of them to see if they smudge at all. I'm gonna smudge them lightly because if we put on our eyeliner, we're not gonna go back and try to smudge it. It's gonna smudge by accident if we have to rub something out of our eye, or if we just have to kind of go like this to get an eyelash out, which can happen from time to time. But we're not gonna really go try to smudge it on purpose unless we're trying to smudge it on purpose to create a smoky eye. But that's not an everyday look, so I just wanna test how movable are they once they are applied. So to do the smudge test, I'm just gonna take the corner of these and just softly try to smudge them to see what blends and what doesn't. And I'm gonna do them one at a time so that I'm not causing one up here to smudge all the way down here and make the rest of them in between look guilty by association. It would be hard to know which one really smudged. I'm gonna zoom the camera in and we're just gonna softly tug. And I wanna use a different Q-tip each time so that what's smudging is really the product that I am applying this to and not what's left on here from the product before. I hope that doesn't sound too technical. That one didn't really smudge at all. All right, here's number 3, which is Benefit. Ooh, that one smudged right into number 4, which is my House Labs by Lady Gaga. Ooh, that one smudged almost all the way off. No! Number 5 is Tarte. That one hardly smudged at all. Number 6 is Urban Decay. Ooh, that one smudged more than I would have thought it did. Number 7 is Smashbox. Well, that one smudged quite a bit too. Okay. Number 8 is Bobbi Brown. That one didn't smudge too bad. And then number 9 is Chanel. Well, now that we've got our eyeliner tested under these smudge proof, I don't think that I can say there's like one that performed that much better. I would say that the $9 NYX I think performed probably some of the best. I think the House Labs by Lady Gaga smudged a little bit more than I would have liked, but still less than many of the others. The Chanel was definitely a smudge, so was Smashbox and so was Urban Decay. So that higher price point is not so far proving to be better performers. So next, let's move on to waterproof. Now, in terms of waterproof, it's not gonna be often that we're gonna be out and having water just thrown at our eyes. Like, I want this to simulate a real life. We're out in the rain, maybe. I don't expect any of us are gonna go jump off the high dive and expect to pop out of the water and have beautiful looking eyeliner. I mean, we're not gonna jump off the high dive anyway. Well, maybe we will. If you do, good for you. I'd be too afraid that I'd break a hip by the time I get to the bottom. Regardless, if we were to be out in the rain, for example, or if it's wintertime and you're skiing and you want to just have your eyes have a little bit of makeup on it, we don't want that running down our face. And 9 times out of 10, it's the mascara. If we're really going to blame somebody, let's blame the mascara. Or if you're crying in something sad or you're really happy and you go to rub your eyeliner, you don't want it smudged everywhere under your eyes. We just want to see how much time do we have between the water applying itself to our eyes and the complete meltdown. What does that really look like in terms of time? And is it something we can live with? So to simulate water and waterproof, I am going to go on a stretch here, and I've grabbed my water pick. Now I must say this water pick's no longer available. It goes on the same charger as my Sonicare. What this does is it shoots out pretty aggressive water. Now I don't think that I will not be standing in where that much water is shooting at me, but it's finally mist enough that I think it gives us a pretty good idea. Where water bottle is bigger droplets of water, probably not quite fair to the eyeliners to test with a water bottle. So if you guys are ready, we're doing it. We're just gonna put a little bit of water. I think they were all equally shot for good measure. Now the nice thing is we had a little bit of coconut oil on first, so the water is almost beating up, but there is water, no doubt, on these eyeliners. So now I'm just gonna take a clean cloth. I'm not gonna try to move this around. I just really wanna apply it, softly press. Okay, so there you go. Now all of them did lose a little bit of product and intensity with the water, but the number 5 and number 6, which is the Tarte and Urban Decay, looks to have come off the most. So that's interesting. I'm just gonna pat these dry. So for our final review, I'm gonna go on about my day. I'm gonna leave my sleeve down so that this is in the elements like our eyeliner would be. I'm gonna try not to rub it on anything, just to be mindful of it, but just see throughout normal day to day, how does it wear? In our normal life, our eye is not touching a bunch of stuff. It may once in a while touch somebody's cheek or somebody's shoulder for hugging somebody. It may touch our glasses or a hat or a shirt if we put something over our head. So if I touch these quickly on something, that would probably be normal life, but I'm gonna be mindful that they're there and really try not to rub them on anything. And we're gonna come back and do a side-by-side comparison of what they look like when I first put them on and then what they look like 9 hours later. Well, here we are, and not much has happened in terms of touching of these eyeliners. So just like you, I'm equally as curious to see how they have held up. I've kept my sleeve rolled up all day. I did not have a jacket on. I didn't have anything else going on and off. I didn't reach in and out of the washing machine. I didn't do any dishes. I didn't do anything unusual. And I have to say that I'm not totally impressed with how a lot of these have held up. So what would we expect if we'd had any of these on through the course of 9 hours in a day? I think right off the bat, the NYX and the Revlon, which are the two that are under $10, are still going really strong. As you move your way down, which increases in price, that's where I think you really start to see the story. The more expensive ones at the bottom, which was the Chanel, the Bobbi Brown, and which one was number 7, and the Smashbox, which is one of my favorite. Those three performed really the worst throughout the course of the day. The in-between ones are sort of in between. So this almost goes opposite of what you would think in terms of overall performance of what you would expect from a gel eyeliner. These less expensive ones performed better. The higher priced ones performed worse, and the middle price point ones performed kind of average. For me, the last test is really how well do they come off, because while I love that they're long wearing and I love that they're waterproof, I don't want to have to tug on this delicate eye area at the end of the day to remove them. So I do want to see how easy or how hard these are to remove. I'm just going to take a little bit of micellar water, make sure it's good and moist, and just go down and see how hard these are to remove. Now, after I'm rubbing pretty hard on these, you guys, rubbing a little harder than I would like up and down, you can see that they almost all came off. Now these two, the NYX and the Revlon, the ones that lasted longer, are a little bit harder to remove. The ones that did not last as long were fairly easy to remove. So there you have it, you guys. I think that's pretty interesting, and I think it goes back to what Marlena said in her video, and that is that oftentimes these eyeliner pencils, eyebrow pencils, and lip liner pencils are often created in the same manufacturing facility with very similar ingredients, and that there's not a lot of difference in the product itself. The difference probably comes from the packaging. And you can see some of that from the least expensive NYX packaging to the most expensive $34 Chanel packaging. It's, you know, it's a little different. I think this might be a little bit of a metal where this is definitely plastic. But I don't care what the outside looks like. I mean, in my makeup bag or in my vanity, these look close enough that one does not warrant a higher price tag for me, in my opinion. So now you guys have all of the information to make the best choice for you. Whether you like a less expensive eyeliner pencil or you like one that has the bells and whistles and all the frill with the packaging, that's okay. Whichever choice is right for you is the right choice. But now you have some options, and I hope you find this helpful. Well, that does it for me today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to hit that like button as well as share it with others that you think might find this information valuable. And I will see you guys again real soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.